Hi, this is Miguel Gulen. I'm going to be working on a video for Tara Graves on OneNote class notebook. Back on October the 11th, Tara asked me, is there a way in Microsoft Classroom class notebook to create a section with pages and distribute to the students in one package? At the time, I thought the answer was yes, absolutely you can. But now I'm not so absolute. And Tara said that she had found a way to distribute the content library, but she wasn't able to see it on a Mac, which is, and unfortunately, I'm recording this video on a PC. So I thought it would that using the class notebook add-in would allow me to distribute an entire section with everything inside of it. Unfortunately, that is not true. Uh, However, there are some other ways to get that job done. So for example, I am looking at a class notebook, Victoria MIE, Microsoft Innovative Educator Notebook, and I have, of course, the welcome area, which is pretty vanilla and standard here. There's the collaboration space where students can work together, and then there is the content library. For fun, I've put some resources into a folder called, or a section, excuse me, called free resources. And inside of that, I have 3 different pages. Now, what I had thought was that I could come up to this toolbar and click on Distribute New Section or Distribute Content Library, and this would all go out. However, when I clicked on, let's say, Distribute Content Library, and I selected Free Resources, I didn't get a list of the class notebooks over here on the right hand side. I shared this with a few people that work for Microsoft, and they weren't sure why that wasn't appearing. I've since gotten a fresh copy of the class notebook add-in. I've made sure to update my OneNote, and still not able to do that. So presumably I would be able to select this section and then distribute it to every student notebook that's out there. I'm going to go ahead and click cancel because that's really not going to get us to where we need to be. So the alternate approach is to come over here to distribute a new section. And so you can come in and distribute a new section or a new section group. I'm going to say just distribute a new section and call it free stuff. Now if I click on the more options, I'm just going to get this student name location, and so it really doesn't give me much. So what it's going to do is distribute a blank section called free stuff to every student's class notebook. I'm going to click create, and now if I go to my students, which I have named here, each student now has an empty section that is called free stuff. So here I'm in another student's area, and it's just putting a blank section out there for students. Now I still want to get the contents from my free resources into the free stuff folder that's out there for students. So I'm going to highlight those pages and come over here to distribute the page. When I choose distribute page, notice that I have the option to distribute pages to the free stuff section because that's a new section that's in my students' notebooks. I'm going to choose that free stuff, and I'll get a message that says please wait while your pages are being distributed. And what I expect to have happen is that when I go into students folders, or excuse me, student sections, I will be able to go to their free stuff and see the pages that I have just submitted or shared. So that's one student. Let me go into the other student, and there are those free pages, 3 pages that I have shared with all of the students. So that was just a quick overview of how to distribute a new section and then take a series of pages and drop them in. One of the challenges that I think you may run into is If you're on a wireless connection when you're doing this for the first time, or if you have a lot of pages, I would try to probably break that up into maybe groups of 5 or 10, depending on the speed of your connection. If you're on a direct or a wired connection, then I think you could probably just start the job of having OneNote class notebook copy all the pages to the student sections, and just let it run. And then it probably will be done in 2 to 3 minutes, depending on what content you actually have in those pages and how many students you have. So to go back to Tara's original request, distribute the content library only allows me to share with other classes, not the current class. How do I create student copies? Well, I'm not sure about that one. If your her original request was basically how to create a section and then copy pages to that. Another possibility would be to, depending on what devices students have access to, would be to maybe come over here and export a particular section. So if I come to my content library and select, I'm now in the free resources section, I can go to File, Export, and notice that I have the option to export a page, a section, and a notebook. And what I like to do sometimes when I have a whole bunch of content is to put it all into one section. And I'm going to export it as a OneNote 2010-2016 section. When I click on Export, it's going to allow me to save that to my desktop or wherever. And I'm going to save that, and it's actually making a copy of this entire section. Once it's done, I now have this in a section, and at this point, if I have access to OneNote, I can choose to merge it into another section or just move or copy it and then just drop it into another place that I'd like to place it. So just a different way of approaching that problem. I hope that it's helpful. Just one of the things to remember when you're working with class notebook is that you definitely want to enable your connections, make sure that you're logged in with the appropriate account. I'm using a usmie.com account, but you may want to make sure that you're using your school district or organization's Office 365 work account. Thanks for watching this